Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me in this live section. So guys, if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, like and share this video so that you will not miss any of our live section. So guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to dive deep into the most shocking revelation about Nigeria's insecurity crisis. Now, we're going to, talk about the confession of a man. His name is Abubakar. He confessed. He traced down where insecurity, where this Boko Haram started from, guys. Now, he made this confession in 2015. We're going to be talking about it in this live session. Guys, stay with me as we, look at what this man said. So let's just go over to the article. So it says here in the article how we brought in Fulani militias from Mali, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and others to win the 2015 election. His name is Kawu Baraje. So this was his confession. He actually, said that they brought, Fulani militias from Mali, Sierra Leone, how they brought, these Fulani bad guys from Mali, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and others to win the 2015 election. Now, what this man just, said has actually validated what Nnamdi Kanu has been saying for a very long time now, and how Amnesty International, the reports they have released currently, it has validated these guys. Yes, it has validated it. Now we'll talk about what this man said. Before we talk about let's look at how what he said. So he said, let's just look into the article. Let's see what he says. So now revelations have started to be made on how Nigeria got himself into the current high level of insecurity in the country. So for a very long time now in Nigeria, it started from 2015 anyways, after, in fact, when Buhari came and became the president of Nigeria. So now insecurity wasn't. Boko Haram started forming, ISWAP started forming in the country. And the thing is, as this group are, forming, nobody is talking about their atrocities. They, go and buy different people in different localities and community. Nobody is talking about it. You see why people say that under Buhari's government, so many atrocities, was done, and then the government overlooked it. This was a revelation by Abubakar Baraje, a former chieftain of the ruling All Progressive Congress. You see, that same thing that Martin Kanu was saying, that APC, brought imported Fulani men. You can see that it's actually happening. Now, when he was saying that thing, when he was shouting it, people were laughing at him. People said all manner of things to him. But it's actually happening now. What Kanu said was actually true. He was right. And then what a Canadian court came out to say was actually right. You can see this man actually traced down, he traced down the origin of the current insecurity problems we have in this country, and then he now confessed that APC, that how they broke, according to this man, he said he's a former chieftain of ruling Progressive Congress. So he said, APC actually imported Fulani militias from Sierra Leone, Mali, Senegal, Niger, and Chad, brought into the country for election purposes in 2015. In 2015, that was when Buhari started. You see why people say that under Buhari's government, a lot of things happened. That is why people will come out and say, oh, may his son not rest in peace because of what he has done and all of that, that he brought insecurity under his watch. Fulani people will buy people and then they will go away with it. Now, let's just continue reading the article on your screen right before you. So it says revelations have started to be made on how Nigeria got itself into the current high level of insecurity in the country. Abubakar Kawu Baraje, a former chieftain of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), on Monday traced the origin of the current insecurity in the country to the influx of Fulani from neighboring countries like Sierra Leone, Mali, Senegal, Niger, and Chad, brought into the country for election purposes in 2015. He said this in Ilori as part of the activities to mark his 70th birthday anniversary. So reading on, it says he also backed self-help initiative of the Southwest governor, stating that responses of Sunday Igboho to the herdsmen menace were necessarily because of the federal government failed in its principal responsibility to protect or to secure lives and properties. On the recent move by the ruling party All Progressive Congress governors to woo former President Goodluck Jonathan, Baraje said that the ruling party was only wasting its time. So reading on, it says Baraje, who once served as the party's national secretary and chairman of the breakaway faction of the PDP, said the Fulani men causing havoc in the country are not aboriginal to Nigeria. Okay, we are not asking the right question on how the same Fulani we have been living with suddenly turned out a menace. Wow. We also must ask how they had access to their guns. The ex-party chairman also asked. Now, Baraje said that the Fulani men wreaking havoc in the country are not the Nigerian Fulani. Guys, can you hear? They are not the Nigerian Fulani, means they are foreigners. This was the same thing Kanu was saying, shouting that these people are foreigners, foreign Fulani men, they bring it in the country to buy people. The security agencies have not been open about the nature of the problem, meaning that these security agents, chief of defense staff, both former, they all know about this, but then they are not open. This is what this man said. They have made arrests. Why haven't they told the public who the terrorists are? This is what Baraje said. According to him, he said the Fulani causing security problems in the country were brought in to help facilitate victory in the 2015 election. After the election, the Fulani have refused to leave. I and other like minds wrote and warned those who started APC with that this was going to happen, but nobody listened. He explained. Now, this is what this man said. Now, let me just explain everything so you can understand. This man said that he talked about how Fulani, came into this country. You guys know that 90% of the attack in Nigeria as a whole are by these Fulani headers of are they even headers? I'll just say these are Fulani people. Now, they now carry cow around, claiming that they are headers, going to different parts of the country, Igbo, Yoruba, buying people. Guys, they don't just buy one person, they buy a whole community. Like they wipe away a whole community. So now, this man now traced it down to know how all this thing started. And even in this country, more of them are beginning to more groups are beginning to set up. Like now, there's ISWAP now. There are different terrorist group in Nigeria now. So you can see how you can see that what a Canadian court said, what they said by tagging APC as a terrorist organization is actually, with what this man said now, we can actually say, okay, we can actually believe what Canadian court said by tagging APC and PDP as a terrorist organization. Because he said APC imported Fulani terrorists to win the 2015 election. Now, you can see that let me now tell you that under Buhari's administration, a lot happened. In fact, do you know where our problem started from as Nigerians? Was in the 2015 election. That was where our problem started, when they handed Nigeria over to Buhari. Now, this man said that, to secure win for the 2015 election, they had to import Fulani foreigners, terrorists, to secure win, to hand Nigeria over to Buhari. And since that time, they have refused to leave. Now, what they have done, they're now spreading over the country, spreading, they'll go to the north, they'll go to the south, causing havoc. They have refused to leave. But then security agents, just like this man said, will refuse, to tell the people how they came in, who they are. You guys feel these people are Nigerian Fulani, or they are Nigerian Fulani people? No, they are actually foreigners, according to what this man said. His name is Baraje. So, as you can see, he's a former APC chieftain. He has openly confessed that foreign Fulani terrorists were imported into Nigeria from Mali, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Niger, and Chad to help the All Progressive Congress win the 2015 election. So, guys, you can see where our problems started from. Right from Buhari's tenure, that was where the problem of Nigeria, and that is where insecurity got at maximum. We are hearing Boko Haram buying 200, 150, 50, 100. That was where the problem of insecurity, started skyrocketing, guys. Yes, you have heard that correctly. What we are facing today is not by accident. You'll be asking yourself, all these things these Fulani people are doing. They'll go to this community, they'll go to Plateau, they'll go to Bedouin and buy people, and you're asking, is it by accident? Guys, it is not by accident. Some people allow them to come to this country. Now, I will not forget what Bauchi State Governor said. He said Nigeria accommodated bandits. You will see that these Fulani men, they buy people, and then you see they buy people and nobody is saying anything about it. Everybody will be silent. I mean, government officials, Nigerian government officials, even the president, the highest thing he can do is just to release a press statement on Twitter, and then that's all. Another, this is how it happens. Another attack will happen. There is no action. There is no sweet action to take away. Now, see, the confession is there. The confession is there. They imported them to Nigeria to win the 2015 election. That's just it. Your accent, is it by accident? It is engineered. According to what this man said, he said it's engineered by APC members. They are the ones that by APC members as at 2015, just to secure the 2015 election, to chase good luck from seats. The blood of thousands of Nigerians spilled since 2015 is directly connected to that reckless political gamble. So you see this thing that a Canadian court came out to say, this actually validates it. And what Kanu has been saying, Kanu has been the person at the front line shouting. The APC brought important Fulani men, but they laughed at him, they went after him because they know that he's saying the truth. It's not like he's a terrorist. Now, this man, Baraje, at his 70th birthday celebration in Ilorin, he stated clearly that the Fulanis wreaking havoc across Nigeria are not indigenous Fulani headers we grew up with. This is what he said. These people are not the Nigerian Fulani headers, that they were brought in deliberately to influence and protect political interests during the 2015 election. That was what this man said. He said that after the election, these terrorists refused to leave, and instead they turned their guns against innocent Nigerians. You can see. So he said we should ask this question. We should ask ourselves this question: why have our security agencies refused to disclose the identities of those they arrest? Why? Why have the same Fulani people, why have the same Fulani people we coexisted with for centuries suddenly become terrorists? Now, you should know that Nigerian, okay, let me talk about the Hausa and the Fulani. The Hausa and the Fulani, they actually, will I say they are brothers and sisters, but then they are brothers and sisters. Something happened, something happened. Nnamdi Kanu was telling them at one point they should, they should be mindful of these Fulani people and all of that. They should be mindful. So I feel they took them, these outside people now, these foreign Fulani people they imported from, they actually took them as brothers and sisters, saying that, oh, we are brothers and sisters and all of that. Now what happened? These foreign Fulani men now dominated. You guys know what happened in the Sokoto Caliphate, dominated Hausa land. Now these same northerners now, they are now running away from these Fulani people. And you see, mostly it's even in the north, they strike more in the north. You can see when Nnamdi Kanu was shouting that these Fulani are not your brothers. He was shouting this thing that these Fulani men are not your brothers. These people are foreigners. They are not your brothers. They were, but these northerners, they did not agree. They were like, we are one, we are the same, and all of that. And what is happening? It is them that is running away now. They have realized that these Fulani, they are not their brothers. They were imported. The same thing Kanu was saying for a long time ago, saying that these Fulani men are not your brothers. They were imported, but they did not hear. Now, you should also ask yourself, how did they get access to sophisticated weapons? How did these people get access to sophisticated weapons? Now I'm hearing a news today that the police in Chad has arrested the leader the Boko Haram founder, the son of the leader of the Boko Haram founder, guys. His son, I mean the leader of the Boko Haram founder, his son, the police in Chad arrested him today. So you can see. So now let me just clear you. This revelation means that Nigeria's ruling party APC knowingly invited foreign killers into the country for selfish political gains. You can see that they don't even care, what will happen to the masses. All they want is their political gains, their ambition for them to be president, for them to be governor. They don't care the after effects. Now, after they have brought in these terrorists, now these foreign killers into the country, I don't know how Nigerians will accommodate foreign Fulani men from another land. Kanu was shouting, these people are not your brothers. These people are not your brother. You can see suddenly they have turned against Nigerians. How can your brother be buying you? How can your brother come into a locality and buy 400, buy 500? And you're still saying that they're your brothers. These people are not your brothers. It's now clear that they imported them from Sierra Leone, from Niger, from Chad. They did this thing for their selfish political gains. When power is at stake, they can do anything, not minding the consequences. They can do anything. The Nigerian government turned out borders into free entry points. Are you still telling me that currently? See, as far as they have done this thing, there is no more respect. These people will be like, Nigerian government can bring us into Nigeria. Then it doesn't stop them from, bringing more people or more people from entering. You can't tell me otherwise. There's no way, these people will not still be entering this Nigeria even till now. There's no way, because they have, the Nigerian government has given them access to Nigeria. How can Nigerian government, impose terrorists? It will give access to more to come to the country. That is why you see insecurity is a big problem that wants to crush Nigeria, that wants to wipe out Nigeria from the surface of this earth. That is why you see insecurity is one of the greatest problems of Nigeria today, where people live in fear. They are even bigger than the government. Yes, these people, they are bigger than the government. They have given them access and now they are dominating. They are bigger than the government. They come into a community, they wipe out a community, go to the next community, wipe out. This has been happening since 2015, even till date. And still counting. Why I say still counting is because they are still committing insecurity. See the headline of this Fulani terrorists buying people. This headline, it happens every time. You see the headline, every blessed time, you will see the headline. So Nigerian government has given them access to all these things. The other time, the chief of defense staff said that he wants to, fence Nigerians' border. That's a great idea. But the thing is, these Fulani terrorists they imported are still in the country. What effort are you taking to chase them away before you fence the borders? And some people are saying that, it is corruption. When you bring out the money now, they will eat it and all of that. Guys, the Nigerian government turned our borders into a free entry point for jihadists. Instead of protecting citizens, they trade our national security on the altar of electoral victory. And now Nigerians are paying the price with blood. Farmers are being slaughtered in their field. School children kidnapped for ransom. Villages burned down by the so-called bandits. Communities in Benue, Plateau, Kaduna, Enugu, and Anambra turned into killing fields. This is what Nigerians are experiencing now because of the action of APC. They imported. This one is not, the news, a news that that was faked. This is a confession by this man, Baraje. It's not a fake news. Look at it there. It is being published by different news websites. The headline says how we brought in Fulani militias from Mali, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and others to win the 2015 election. APC. They did all they did. You can see what the Canadian court, said by saying APC is a terrorist organization. Look at it. It validates it here now. It's actually it validates it here. Okay, look at it here. The Canadian court said Nigerian government asked. Okay, this one was when the Nigerian government asked the Canadian court to withdraw their statement. That was when they told the Nigerian government to withdraw the Canadian court to withdraw their statement. But let me now tell you that a Canadian court actually, declared APC and PDP a terrorist organization. Now look at the headline that actually confirms. Look at the evidence here. You think Canada will come out and publish nonsense? Look at the evidence here. Farmers are being slaughtered in their field. Now, there's no way you cannot tell me that these Fulani terrorists are not still, coming in, because Nigerian government has given them access. There's free entry now. That is why you see insecurity is at maximum in Nigeria. You'll be in your house, and then some people will come, these bandits will come at the middle of the night and, set you ablaze in your house. You'll be sleeping, and then something is going on. You'll be sleeping, and, your children are outside playing. You're scared of even sending them to school because anything can happen. That is how, Nigerians live in fear. That's how Nigerians live in fear. You might be going out, for your daily activities, and you don't even know if you return. That is how bad it is. Now, let me tell you what happened in Anambra State. I am so mention it out. When I heard that news, honestly, I felt so bad. I felt so bad. It happened in Anambra State a few weeks ago. I think it was last week. His brother, a girl and her brother went to the farm. That's their only source of income, guys. They went to the farm in Anambra State. And then Fulani men, met them in the farm. Fulani terrorists met them in the farm in Anambra State. And what happened? They kidnapped them. They took them away. And the Fulani man told the brother to lie with her sister. They told the girl to remove her clothes and asked the brother to lie with her sister. Guys, the brother said he's not going to do that. That than doing this, buy me instead, kill me instead. Guys, guess what? The brother refused to do such an evil act. These Fulani men used machete and finished him. A small boy, a young boy. His name is Emmanuel. May he so rest in peace. Can you imagine? What kind of act is that? Look at the people. Look at what Nigerian government are making people to face. There is hunger. Children went to their, farm to at least to farm so that they can put food into their mouths, and they met Fulani guys. Not for this Fulani men to tell the boy to lie with her sister, and the boy refused to do that, and then they buy the boy in the presence of her sister. This happened in Anambra State. You see the kind of pains that that Nigerians face in this country, Nigeria, because they gave access. They gave these Fulani terrorists access to this country, Nigeria. Farmers have been slaughtered in their fields, school children kidnapped for ransom, villages burned down by so-called bandits, communities in Benue, Plateau, Kaduna, Enugu, and Anambra State turned into killing fields. All this because a few greedy politicians wanted power at all costs. Wanted power at all costs. The most painful part is the hypocrisy of the Nigerian state. When Nigerians cry out, government spokesmen call it fake news. When communities defend themselves, they are being called terrorists. Kanu said, defend yourself. They called him a terrorist. When communities defend themselves, they see them as people that are looking for trouble. When Sunday Igboho rose to defend his people, they hunted him down. But the very same government that smuggled in foreign militias to terrorize Nigeria pretends to be helpless. How can a government that claims to be fighting terrorism refuse to name arrested terrorists? Any chaos that happen, any violence that happen in Nigeria, they call it farmer header clash. That is the narrative they are living with. How can they allow killers roam free while jailing activists and agitators? See, it's now clear. The Nigerian state is not just weak, it's complicit. It's complicit. See, it's not the first time that, because it's actually obvious. Who is not seeing it right now? Okay, why I say that they are complicit is because take a look at this video. I'll play a clip of it. This is a white man. This is a white man. He said Nigerian states are complicit to the killings going on in Nigeria. Take a look.
You cannot ignore the fact that there is Nigerian government complicity with these attacks. You saw some of our journalists in the documentary. We wanted to be an organization that tells the truth about what's happening in Nigeria, hence truthnigeria.com. I want to just kind of let everybody know and help you understand how Nigerian news works. If a Nigerian government official does not call for a news conference, the event did not exist. So in order for the narrative to get to the mainstream media, get picked up by Al Jazeera, get picked up by CNN, everything else, it comes from a Nigerian government source. From the very beginning, they determine the narrative. The reporters regurgitate the government narrative. We decided to be a voice and try to help change that paradigm and created Truth Nigeria to document what is actually happening. How many of you guys know that there were 10 Christians killed in Kaduna just the other day? How many of you know that there were 30 Christians killed in Plateau just a week ago? How many of you know that besides the 280 Christians that were killed in Yellowwater on June 13th, we are now about over 500 Christians that have been killed total since Yellowwater? No one knows. The media is not reporting it. Well, that's why we formed Truth Nigeria, to talk about what is going on. But also, what we pointed out in the documentary that I'd like everybody to realize is that Truth Nigeria had information that the attack on Yellowwater was going to occur 3 weeks before the attack happened. Now, when we get a terror alert, we find information, we know attacks are going to occur, our method is we issue a terror alert on our website, truthnigeria.com, but we also immediately call the local authorities. We notify the Nigerian military, the DSS, the Nigerian government, to let them know this is what we found out, this is our intelligence. Now, a day before the attack, we got word that there's movement happening. They are mobilizing, and they are coming for Yellowwater. So the day before, our team notified the government, the local authorities, the army, the police, and said, hey, there's movement, they're coming, watch out. What happened? Absolutely nothing. The government stood by and did nothing with advance warning multiple times. In fact, there's a military fob with soldiers that was less than a kilometer away while the attacks were going on, shooting warning shots in the air, but did not engage the terrorists as people were being burned to death, hacked to death with machetes, and being slaughtered.
So guys, you saw what the man said. So according to this headline on your screen, this man confessed and said how we brought in Fulani militias from Mali, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and other country to win the 2015 election. This was the confession by this man. So now, this man said that Nigerian government is complicit. This is a white man. He said Nigerian government are complicit. What do you think about that? Let me know your thoughts under the comment section. So now, with what is going on in Nigeria today, these Fulani terrorists, they roam freely. You know, you would not have any other option to just think that they are complicit, because in Nigeria they go ahead to detain agitators and activists, and they leave Fulani men to be roaming up and down. And this man said, let me now tell you the confession of this man. This man said that this his revelation actually. He said that Nigeria's ruling party, APC, knowingly invited foreign killers into the country for selfish political gain. That was what this man said, Abubakar Kawu Baraje. And then secondly, he said the Nigerian government turned our borders into free entry points for jihadists. And then he said instead of protecting citizens, they traded our national security on the altar of election victory. And now Nigerians are paying the price. Farmers have been slaughtered in their field, school children kidnapped for ransom, villages burned down by so-called bandits, all because of a few greedy politicians wanted power at all costs. Now, the most painful part is the hypocrisy of the Nigerian state when Nigerians cry out, government spokesman call it fake news. When communities defend themselves, they are called terrorists. Now, when Sunday Igboho rose to defend his people, they hunted him down. And when also Kanu rose up to, you know, agitate, they hunted him down as well. But the very same government that smuggle in foreign militias to terrorize Nigerians pretend to be helpless. How can a government that claims to be fighting terrorism refuse to name arrested terrorists? How can they allow killers roam free while jailing activists and agitators? So this man that said, "You're lying again." This news was not published by me. Yes, look at the headline on your screen where is clear and bold. If you want to see, you can go and search for this news. It's everywhere. I just want to know your thoughts under the comment section. What do you think about what this man said? Because he said the Nigerian government has been actually been lying to its citizens. This man's confession, his name is Baraje. His confession shows that Nigerian government has been lying to its citizens. If actually what this man said is true, that means Nigerian government has been lying to its citizens. The insecurity crisis is not actually accidental, it's deliberate. The bloodshed in the Middle Belt, the massacre in the Northwest, and the killings in the East are all the fruits of the singular betrayal in the 2015. APC leaders gamble with lives of 200 million Nigerians. And instead of apologizing, they continue to double down, you know, covering up and even recycling the same bandits. So when these bandits have been caught, they rehabilitate them. According to the laws, they rehabilitate bandits in Nigeria. So you can see this man is saying that the problem of Nigeria started in 2015 when APC gave this foreign Fulani access. He even said that these Fulani people are not Nigerian Fulani men, that they are foreigners imported from Mali, Senegal, and others. Now, let me know your thoughts, guys. Anything you have in mind, let me know that under the comment section. So let's converse. So now, if Nigeria is ever to find peace, the truth must be told. Every Nigerian must know that insecurity was imported deliberately for politics. Names must be exposed as well. The security agencies must publish who these terrorists are, where they come from, and who armed them. Because we are even surprised that these Fulani terrorists, they carry more sophisticated weapons, and you're asking yourself, where do they get all these weapons from? And justice must be served as well. Politicians who brought in foreign militias must face trial for treason and crimes against humanity. Communities must rise in self-defense because clearly the Nigerian state has failed and cannot protect its citizens, just like what the they said. That come even DSS said that they cannot. DSS DG said that they cannot protect. Even military men all combined can't protect Nigerians. That we should defend ourselves. So you can see this man's confession, Barage's confession, is not just a story. It is a bombshell that indicates the very foundation of Nigeria's political system. The truth is simple. Nigeria's insecurity crisis was manufactured by the same people who promised change in 2015. So now you can see this man said that our problem started in APC when they handed, that seat to Buhari, that to win that seat, APC had to import terrorists for election victory. And now these are the same people that promised changed. They said they would change. They said this country would change. What are we seeing? Insecurity. Now ask yourself, why is insecurity high? Or the insecurity problem became so high in 2015, even up to date. Different, different group of terrorists are emerging. Different group of terrorists are emerging. And until Nigeria rise to hold them accountable, this country will keep bleeding. They'll keep mass burial will continue in this country until all these things are all addressed. That is just it. Until all these things are just are addressed. When I saw this news, I was shocked. I've been wondering why Nigerian government officials would do this kind of thing, just for election victory. And now, according to what this man said, he said when they came into the country, they refused to leave. Now, remember that they came in for a particular purpose. According to this one, they said they came in for a particular purpose. They came in for election victory in the 2015 election. And then after the election, they were supposed to leave, but then they refused to leave. Now they have carried arms and turned against Nigerians, innocent Nigerians. That is why you see communities in Yellow Water, they'll come and buy 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 300, 500, and nothing is being done. They gave them access. They gave them access and they are dominating, raising more groups. That is why you see insecurity is one of the greatest problem of Nigeria. And here is the beginning. Here was how it all started. Now, 2015 as the beginning of Nigeria's collapse. Before 2015, kidnapping, herdsmen, killings, and terrorism were mostly restricted to Boko Haram in the northeast. Hmm? After 2015, insecurity spread like wildfire. In 2015, the only thing we hear is Boko Haram in the northeast, and that was that. Then after 2015, insecurity now became it spread like wildfire. Kaduna, Zamfara, Benue, Plateau, Niger, Ondo, Enugu, Anambra. Nowhere is safe in Nigeria today. This aligns perfectly with Baraje's confession that foreign Fulani militias were imported that same year. Now, why the militias refuse to leave? Let me tell you why these Fulani militias refuse to leave. According to what this man said, he said the foreign terrorists usually get paid and sent back after an election, but in Nigeria they saw fertile land, weak borders, and a government unwilling to chase them out. So this is what this man said. He said the government are unwilling to chase them, and they saw that the government are more relaxed because all the attacks that have been happening here, the government don't even take strict actions to send them back to where they are coming from. And they saw fertile land, weak borders, and then they refused to go back. They saw opportunities in cattle herding routes, gold mining sites, and ransom kidnapping, all of which became multi-billionaire businesses after 2015. The same APC that invited foreign terrorists, according to this man, now labels peaceful agitators in the southeast as terrorists, just like Nnamdi Kanu. But the actual terrorists with AK-47s killing villagers daily are called bandits, a deliberate attempt to soften their crimes and shield them from real justice. At times they call them headers. They'll call it headers men or whatever. Now, the thing is, this exposed the government's tribal and political bias. Now, Britain's silence and Western silence is hypocrisy. Let's talk about Britain's silence and then Western hypocrisy. Britain and other Western powers who pretend to be champions of democracy know these truths, according to what this one said. Yet they keep quiet because instability in Nigeria benefits them economically. They sell arms, they exploit our division, and they protect the same leaders who created this mess. So billions of dollars are lost every year due to insecurity. Farmers can't still farm. Investors flee. Industries shut down. The dollar keeps rising because oil pipelines are vandalized by armed group, while Nigerians spend trillion on security votes that end up in private pocket. That end up in private pockets. The truth is, APC decision to bring in terrorists destroyed Nigeria's economy beyond repair. That decision to bring in Fulani terrorists actually is the problem of Nigeria today. The greatest problem of Nigeria today. The GSS, police, army have made arrests, but they never tell Nigerians the identity of those arrested. Why? Because revealing the truth would expose powerful politicians in Abuja who brought these killers in. Somebody have said something. The governor of Benue State said that the sponsors of these Fulani men, they're in the House of Representatives, they're in the House of Assembly. I mean the governor of Benue State. But why have you not taken action? According to what I heard, they said the chief of defense staff knows the they said they know the people. In fact, they gave him a list of the people that are sponsors of these bad guys in Nigeria. But then what had happened after that? We're expecting an arrest or for you to expose the names of the people, but nothing has been done. This silence is not incompetence, it is protection for their political master. The important terrorist has worsened ethnic mistrust. Yoruba farmers see Fulani as enemies. Middle Belt people see Fulani as invaders. Igbo see them as agents of Islamization. This engineered chaos keep Nigeria divided while politicians in Abuja continues to share oil money. Oil money. Now, this Baraje's revelation proves Kanu and the Igboho rights. Nnamdi Kanu consistently said Fulani terrorists were being imported to take over Nigeria. He was mocked, called hate preacher, and he was locked up. So the Igboho raised alarms and tried to defend Yoruba farmers, yet he was hunted like a criminal. Now APC own funding secretary has confessed. APC's own funding secretary has actually confessed, proving these men were never wrong. Baraje also revealed APC's desperation to woo former President Jonathan. Isn't it ironic? They destroyed him in 2015, used militias to snatch power, and now in 2025 they want to recycle him as their puppet. Now I'm actually hearing something that a man once is saying that Jonathan should come, should be he come, he should return to power, to be the president in 2027. But then Dele Farotimi has said something. He said, you see, getting Goodluck Jonathan to come on seat Tinubu is not going to help Nigeria. Let me know what you think about that under the comment section. Let me know. Now, this Baraje's confession shows APC never had ideology to change, just lost for power at all costs. They were saying change, they were just saying it just to take over the assets. APC promised change but gave Nigerians bloodshed. APC promised security but gave Nigerians foreign terrorists. APC promised prosperity but gave Nigerians hunger, inflation, and mass unemployment. This is not just failure of governance, it is betrayal of a whole nation. It is betrayal of a whole nation. The imported Fulani men were not just for election protection. They were part of a broader agenda to tilt power permanently towards a Fulani Islamic agenda. And this explains why grazing routes, ruga, and cattle colonies become national debate under Buhari. It was never about cows, it was about settling those Fulani permanently across Nigeria. Now, let me now tell you what happened about this ruga of everything, ruga, cattle rearing, and all of that, the ranches and everything. Now, let me now tell you that it's not about the cow. They deliberately want to settle these Fulani men across Nigeria. It was never about cow, it was about settling these Fulani terrorists permanently across Nigeria. With the ranches they will build for the cows will stay there, the Fulani them they will stay there, probably dominate the area. Now, intelligence reports have shown that many so-called bandits later joined Boko Haram and ISWAP. This proves that what APC called banditry is simply terrorism under another name, created by their imported terrorists. This distinction between bandits and terrorists is a political scam to protect their image. Now, let me now talk about the roles of Nigerians borders. And Nigerians porous borders became highway for terrorists after 2015. Niger, Chad, and Mali are hotbeds of jihadist insurgents. By leaving the borders open, APC created a backdoor for continuous inflow of terrorist weapon and drug. That same thing I said by, the fact that APC, according to what this man said, the fact that APC has done this, that means, you know, they are actually open door for these terrorists to come in, to troop in. This is why insecurity keep worsening every day because new fighters keep coming to replace old ones or the ones that have been killed by Nigerian military force. Many traditional rulers across the north know the truth but cannot speak. But this man has come out to speak because they are either beneficiaries of the system or are afraid of government reprisals. Meanwhile, rural communities continue to bury their dead every week. Nigeria spends over 1 trillion annually on security votes, yet insecurity worsens every year. Why? Because those who created the problem cannot solve it. They profit from it, according to what this man greed. Politicians, generals enrich themselves while innocent villagers are slaughtered. That is it. Now you can see, I'll tell you the reason why they target farmers mostly. Now, the killings in Benue Plateau and Southern Kaduna were not random. These terrorists deliberately target farming communities to create hunger and food insecurity. Nigeria now imports what it used to grow. Nigeria today imports what it used to grow: rice, maize, even beans, because farmers abandoned their lands out of fear. Nigerian mainstream media often water down these killings. Instead of saying Fulani terrorists massacre villages, they write unknown gunmen attacked. This deliberate cover-up is part of the government's propaganda. Millions of Nigerians are now IDPs, internally displaced persons. The plan is actually very simple. Displace indigenous communities and replace them with foreign Fulani settlers. Just like what happened in Edo State. I was actually surprised when VDM, Very Dark Man, said it, that military are, displacing people and giving it to Fulani, bringing down their house, demolishing their house, and giving it to Fulani men. They were claiming that it's their land. Global powers know instability in Nigeria benefits them. Arm manufacturers keep selling weapons, NGOs get billions in aid contracts. That is why Western governments never sanction Nigerian politicians despite clear evidence of state-sponsored terrorism. If APC really cared about Nigeria, they would have, repatriated, or they would have repatriated these militias after the 2015, sending them back. Instead, they armed them further with government contracts under the name of repentant bandits. How can you call them repentant bandits? How would you even rehabilitate them? Some were even integrated into security outfits, turning killers into so-called peacekeepers. They give them uniform to be soldiers. Baraje admitted he and others warned APC founders about the dangers of importing militias, but they refused to listen because power was more important than Nigerians' future. Today, his confession is not just a warning, it is an indictment of Buhari, Tinubu, and every APC leader since 2015. So now, Nigeria no longer trusts the army, police, or DSS. When villagers are attacked, they know the government will do nothing. This is lack of trust, and this lack of trust is why self-help group like vigilante and other ethnic militias are rising. Nigeria is gradually becoming ungovernable. Now, from Chibok girls to Kaduna, from Kaduna train attacks to Owo Church massacre, APC fingerprints are everywhere because of what this man said about, them importing terrorists. The party that promised to end insecurity in 6 months ended up importing the very insecurity that now consumes Nigeria. Now look at the moral lesson of all these things, or the moral questions for Nigeria. If APC deliberately imports killers, what moral rights do they have to govern Nigerians today? That is just it. Shouldn't the party be deregistered if clearly it says that, if it is true, because this man came out and confessed, if it's true that APC truly imported terrorists, Fulani terrorists, it's not just this man that is saying it though. Kanu has said it. Amnesty Nigeria has said it, that APC is a terrorist organization. So if this is true, where is the moral right to govern Nigerians today? Shouldn't the party be deregistered? Shouldn't its leaders face international crimes tribunals for crimes against humanity? Keeping quiet means Nigerians are co-signing their own destruction. Look at people that promised us change. They said they will end insecurity. What is going on? See, I always say this thing. If Nigerian government is willing to end insecurity, they will end it in one day. Because why I said in one day, because security now is at maximum. So let me say a day. See, they have everything. Nigeria is actually a very good country, better than some other countries today. But because of these leaders are greedy, they don't care about the masses. They only care about themselves, their political ambition. When power is at stake, they can do anything. They don't care. Nigeria has all it takes. Every year, 1 trillion, is used for security purposes that I don't even know if they even use it. What did they use all this money? Where is the money? Where is the money? 2015 was not an election, it was a coup with foreign guns, according to what this man said. Because they imported these terrorists to win the 2015 election. With Baraje's confession, it is clear the 2015 election was not free and fair. And after they will call Nigeria a democratic country, they will say Nigeria practices democracy. So somebody said something. This person said, hopefully you are not one of those who said Jonathan was bad for Nigeria. Now, let me now clear you something. When Jonathan was the president of Nigeria, insecurity was not this bad, right? Even up to today. Today now, there's this news I saw. A man was saying that Goodluck Jonathan should emerge as the president again, should come back. And people were like, oh, it's already late. Like Dele Faro to me saying that telling Goodluck to come back doesn't actually make sense. The truth is that Jonathan's tenure was far more better than what we're experiencing today, even what we experienced in Buhari's time administration. Yes. Although in Jonathan's time, there was actually, people were saying things were hard and all of that. When Buhari now came in, hey, we saw times 10. Tinubu came in, we saw times 10. We were expecting that when Buhari came, at least things will calm down. People prefer Jonathan's tenure. Like, if they even want him to come back as the president of Nigeria. So you see, they handed Nigeria to Buhari. The same, the APC promise changed, promised a lot of things, promised to end insecurity. Guys, since 2015, since APC became the ruling party till date, there's no form of insecurity. You're living with fear. In your house, you're not safe. You're walking on the road, you're not safe. Everything you do, you're not safe. You're living with fear. So you can see anybody that is actually condemning Jonathan's tenor doesn't know what he or she is saying, because his tenor was better. Check very well, make your findings. When did all these insecurity problems started becoming worse? Was it not under Buhari? Tinubu completed it for us. Nigeria was Africa's fastest growing economy. Let me tell you, Nigeria is a very good country. Leave all these greedy politicians. This country have very blessed. There are some countries that don't have what we have here, but they are doing well. There are people, our problem is somewhere. There are things that are a problem. Nnamdi Kanu said Nigeria was built with the wrong foundation, or was, how did he even put it, that statement? He said he was actually, he came up to correct it. Nigeria is it. If they want to change Nigeria, it cannot. Okay, Tinubu said he's going to change Nigeria. He came up and then nothing happened, nothing changed. His year one, ended. Year two came, nothing still changed. If they want to change Nigeria, Peter Obi said if he becomes the president, he will only lead for 4 years and he's going to transform Nigeria. 4 years. If you see, if you remove corruption from this country, Nigeria will be better than different country in the world. I'm telling you, if you remove corruption in this country, Nigeria will be better than different country in this world. So now, back to what I was saying about the headline you have right on your screen about Baraje's confession. So his confession is actually clear that the 2015 election was not free and fair. Something happened at the back, and APC didn't win the vote alone. They won with bloodshed, intimidation, menace. You can see that means Buhari's government came to power through foreign aided terrorism, according to what this man said here. A political coup against Nigerian sovereignty. Buhari never condemned Heather's killing with the same strength he used to condemn IPOB or Shiites. Now, why? Let me tell, because condemning them would mean admitting the truth, and they were his and that's they were his imported foot soldiers. Let me now tell you something. When Goodluck Jonathan was actually the president, did they go ahead? Did they arrest Kanu? That's the person or that current administration understood that agitation was not a crime. But when Buhari came up, they arrested him. To date, he's still in detention because they know he's saying the truth. Buhari never condemned herdsmen killing with the same strength he has condemned IPOB and Shiites. Why? Because condemning them would mean admitting the truth that they were his important foot soldiers. Silence was protection, protection was complicity. Some northern allies believed importing foreign Fulani would strengthen their political dominance. They never cared if villages in Plateau or Zamfara or Benue were wiped out. As long as power stayed in the north, this selfishness planted the seed of Nigeria's possible breakup. An international voice said that Nigeria will not exist in 2030 with the way things are going. The insecurity is much. They buy people every day. Every day they buy people. With the way Nigeria is going, would anybody still remain in this country again? Each time villagers captured terrorists and hand them to security forces, they will release them. Why? Because they had political godfathers who protected them. This emboldens them, making ordinary Nigerians feel abandoned, betrayed by their own states. When you even go out to protest to stop the killings in Nigeria, they will arrest you. So, guys, you can see what this man said about the importation of Fulani terrorists from Mali, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Niger, Chad to Nigeria because of the 2015 election. This was the confession by Baraje Abubakar. This is what this man said. So let me know what you feel about this headline in the comment section. Let me know, because if this is true, that means you know that insecurity will eat up Nigeria, because it's now like the borders in Nigeria is now an open door to weapons, or they've given them access to import weapon as well, import more terrorists, more terrorists will still come up, because they have refused to leave. They saw a government that doesn't even care if that people buy today or tomorrow. They saw fertile lands in Nigeria. They saw things that will benefit them. So they refuse to leave. So guys, we have come to the end of this live section. Do also hit that subscribe button, like and share this video. If you're new to this channel, like I said, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any breaking news. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.